serious consequences if they do get access to these wives.
All right, Peter Alexander, thank you so much. Well, now that bin Laden is dead, a bipartisan group of 8 lawmakers has written to President Obama calling for him to remove all troops from Afghanistan that are not directly connected to the war on terror. I'm joined now by one of those members, Congressman Peter Welch, Democrat from Vermont. Congressman, good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Make your case for us. Why this letter?
Well, the issue is whether nation building that we've been doing for 10 years is A, sustainable, and B, effective. And you contrast that with the counterterrorism approach that was successful in killing Osama bin Laden, where you rely on intelligence and special forces to go after an identified target. We think that makes much more sense, particularly where al-Qaeda is not significantly present in Afghanistan. It is dispersed and decentralized. It's a threat. But do you want to have a nation-centered, nation-building response to a decentralized threat? I think the debate was already engaged in the administration, and Vice President Biden, when that decision was made to increase troop strength by 30,000, was arguing for this counterterrorism strategy. The success of getting bin Laden is allowing members to step back, folks who've been skeptical of nation building.
Well, I think it's fair to say that there are people beyond those who signed this letter who feel as you do about nation building and its costs.
That's right.
Including, I think, Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chairman John Kerry, who agrees that the U.S. should rethink its strategy, but he's also concerned about a hasty exit. So let me play for you what he had to say about that.
I don't know of any serious policy person who believes that a unilateral, precipitous withdrawal from Afghanistan would somehow serve our interests or anybody's interests.
So we have about 100,000 troops on the ground in Afghanistan. How would you go about a withdrawal?
Well, number one, the question for the Congress and the question for the president is what's the policy? And are we going to have a policy of escalation or nation building, or are we going to move toward counterterrorism and withdrawal? Once you make that fundamental decision, just like the president did in Iraq, then you have to manage that drawdown in a way that is safe for our troops.
Well, give us a timeline. How would you see that playing out?
Well, you know, I would see us getting out of there in the next year or two, easily. But you've got to give the commanders some flexibility and the president flexibility. But the point is that the last decision the president made was to add 30,000 troops and basically to double down on nation building. This is a moment where we can make an explicit decision that we're not continue pouring vast resources into a corrupt Karzai government and start managing that drawdown. And again, those of us who think we've got to change our policy understand that you've got to give those who implement that policy some flexibility to do it in a prudent and safe way.
Congressman Peter Welch, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Newt Gingrich is ready to run, but with all his political baggage, can he win? And how does he impact the rest of the 2012 GOP field? Meantime, Richard Louie is looking at